All right. Hey, Chris. Hope you're doing well. So in this video, we'll be doing a video SEO audit of your website and also your Google My Business profile. So I prefer these kind of audits because I can just show you exactly what you need to fix in order to get your rankings up to start moving in the right direction. And now at first glance, I do see a couple of things that you could improve on your Google My Business profile, but also primarily on your website. So if we're looking at your Google My Business profile, I see you have two different profiles here, one with a little bit less reviews, and this one has over 50 reviews. I would definitely work to get more reviews. So if you're doing pressure washing, just this is just from working with other pressure washing companies, you can definitely get this up by just asking friends, asking, be consistent with asking for additional reviews once the job has been completed. Now, another thing that I would like to see is a bit more optimization, fill out all of the information, add products and services to both your Google My Business profile, but then also make sure that you're publishing posts on a regular basis. So we like to do anywhere from like 2 to 8 posts per week. Sometimes per month. It just really depends on how competitive the market is. But if you do at least 2 per week, you're going to be in a good spot in order to see, whether it's working. If it's working, you can increase the amount of posts from 2 to 4 per week and just keep that consistently going. Now, one of the most important things that I said, right, is it's going to be the amount of reviews that you get. So right now, I see here this review came in about 8 years ago. This was 10 and 9 years ago. So if you're working near this location, your second location, you want to request reviews there just as much as you're doing for the other location. Now, if we look here, I do see that you got a review 4 months ago, which is, I mean, I was gonna say it's not too bad, but it kind of is. Because it's like 4 months ago, you're working every single month and getting jobs completed. I know you're working, I know you're getting jobs completed, yet you're not asking for reviews. This should be like maybe a month ago tops. And even that is not good. You should be getting reviews every single week. Maybe if I scroll down, I might see other reviews, but I'm not sure. But just going off this, I'm thinking you got your last review 4 months ago. If I see this, I could think, this company, no, probably won't. I'll probably think that you're still in business and that you're still doing work. It's just that you might not be as busy as, as another contractor. So if I see another company getting reviews on a daily, I'm going to be more prone to reach out to that business. And I have companies, right? I have clients in Canada, also a large junk removal company in Australia, and they get reviews every single week, and I get notification for all of those reviews. They simply work it into their system, into their workflow to ask for review every single time. Now we do have tools or ways to request reviews if you have their phone numbers or email address where you can send a request on autopilot and just automatically follow up until you get a review. But yeah, you could also do this manually. So this is the first thing that I would tackle, and it's just because it's pretty easy to do. It's a bit less complicated than your website, and just get more reviews. Make sure you add products and services. Make sure you optimize your Google My Business profile, and then monitor the results from there. See how many calls you're getting, and then from there you can decide whether you need to up the amount of the rate that you're getting reviews at, or the amount of posts that you're posting in your Google My Business profile. Now, I like to start out with this because it's the easiest part of the whole local SEO thing. Maybe 5, 6 years ago, it was easy to just rank your Google My Business and just focus on your Google My Business. It was easier because, not many people were doing Google My Business optimization, or not many people knew about it. But now, definitely in your industry, there are a lot of folks that have a Google My Business profile, and they're doing pretty much the same as you. They're posting, they're getting views and whatnot. So you really need to differentiate yourself. And the way we're going to do that is by improving your website quality. So the second all right, so I wanted to pull up your website on this dashboard just so that I can run this tool live with you. Now, this is detailed Chrome extension, pretty simple plugin. And what it does is it analyzes your website, specifically the page that you're on. So you need to do this for every single page, unless you have a more professional tool to do it all at once. So it's essentially telling us what we're seeing on your homepage in terms of like SEO. So I can see here that you do have your H1 sorted, at least on the homepage, and that this is all showing green. Of course, over time you can optimize this and whatnot, but it's at least showing that it's green. Your H2, your H1 is defined. There's only one H1, so that's pretty decent. Now, this is where a lot of like the errors come in, usually before this. But yeah, if you see here, there's no anchor text here, and you're probably going to have that in a couple of places on your website. So here again and again, And if we multiply that by the amount of pages that you have, let's say 20 pages, that's like 20 errors already. That will add up over time and just, kind of, it's like a cut. Every single mistake is a little cut on your skin. And over time, it just wears you down, right? And you're not going to rank as well as you could. So you'd want to get that sorted. Make sure that you have proper naming for your links. For your images, there are some images without alt text or title. It's essentially your image SEO, photo SEO. Make sure that you're telling Google what they're looking at by having the proper title, image description, whatnot. This is something that a lot of contractors, but also just developers don't do because it's time consuming. So we do that for, in all of our campaigns as, standard SEO practice. Make sure that even the logos that are on the icons, the logos that are on your homepage, you'd want to make sure that those have proper names. So a lot of times when I mention images, folks just think about these images here, right? This is pretty normal, but these are also images, right? So there are other pieces on your website are also images. So you just want to make sure that's tackled from all aspects. Next, your schema. This looks decent. We like to do more custom schema. I'm not sure if you custom created this or if it was used, you did it through a plugin like Rank Map. But we like to do more custom schema because then we control more for like what's going on to the page. All right. So now the first thing that I wanted to mention is, and let's just have a look at your homepage. There are a couple of things, that I'll mention about the service pages and the missing location pages, but let's just start out with the homepage. So at first glance, it looks like a pretty standard website. There's nothing special about it, and it doesn't need to be special or any way. But this, if I look at this, it takes me a bit of while. It's not as visible as it should be. I would probably just put this text into the form itself and make sure that it's large enough so that they see, whoever is on your website, see that it's there's a free estimate that you have at offer. This is kind of on a smaller end down here. This not that visible, this text here. And I would actually just optimize this a bit better. It is down our hero section. So basically everything what you see above the fold, right? What we're looking at right now. At first glance, I don't even know whether or not it's a pressure washing company. I just see a house behind there, but it could be gutter cleaning. It could be, well, gutter cleaning is part of pressure washing, but it could be roofing. It could be anything related to like homes, right? So I would make this a bit more captivating. Make sure you have maybe 3 benefits of, working with you so that I know that I'm at the right spot rather than just click and send. Like, give me an offer, right? So what I had there was maybe using before and afters, but you really don't need before and afters because it's a hero section. So you could just put one of these images here or, just something maybe with a company logo or your trucks on there. That would actually help a lot more. Maybe adding your logo to the form to make it a bit more branded, to give them more custom experience. But in here, like, right, better call to action. So get a free estimate. Right now, you don't really have any benefits in your headline, and the trust badges are kind of missing, right? So you just have this Google My Business logo. I'm pretty sure you should have other platforms that you're on, whether it's Yelp or Facebook, where you've had like additional reviews. Just mention them somewhere here or somewhere there, so that it's easier for people to scan and be like, hey, this is the company that I need to work with. So ideas could be like professional pressure washing in the location, right? And I would pick one, so just New Orleans or surroundings, for example. Just make sure that it's captivating. It has a benefit in there, and maybe like 3 sub items or benefits that make you stand out from your competitors. Like I said, your conversions are also lacking. So the way you have your form on a website, so right here you just have send. It's not really an attractive offer. I would put something there like something better. Maybe have like a better offer there. Book now. Guess that can work. It would even be better if you can work in some kind of offer there. It's like a $5 discount or 5% discount or free quote or whatnot. But I do understand that this leads to your bookings page. I think it's your booking page. Okay, so it leads to your contact page. So you really, right, they're not able to book online because I do have clients where they can book online. But even there, we try to work in an offer, or we just, we use book online now. But in your case, it's going to the contact page. So you're still trying to convince them to reach out to your company. So I will probably use something like get a free quick quote now or variations thereof. So that it's more enticing to reach out to you. Right here, so you have residential, commercial, and then gutter cleaning. Why choose us? This is all right. This kind of seemed a bit scammy. right? Because I'm not sure if this is real or not. Like anyone could create this section. So when we create websites and we build websites for local businesses, we always link back to the original reviews. So if someone wants to inspect it on Google My Business profile, let's say that's where you got that review from, they can actually click on that review, that logo, and it brings them directly to your Google My Business profile with that review pulled up. It also has additional SEO benefit. I won't get into that right now, but it's going to be really helpful. Or what some of our clients do is we plug them in with like a plugin that live streams all of the reviews from your Google Business profile. This means that anytime you get a review, all of these reviews are going to be populated on your website. These FAQs are fine. I would like to see the FAQs maybe moved a bit more to the service pages so that they are service specific. And then this is all right. This down here is good. Additional information. See here. This should stand out a bit more, request a quote. Since the menu is scrolling along and you have that offer there, I'd rather see this in maybe an orange or red button, something that just stands out a bit more, because right now it kind of disappears in between all of these menu items. And then perhaps each section have some kind of call to action or button there to, to have that person reach out and not just contact us. Now, I'm going to try to go a bit faster because there are quite a bit of things that are, that could be fixed on your website, but let's just try to dive through them quickly. Now, another thing is your URL structure. So there are a lot of URLs on your website, quite a few that should not be public on your site, like blog 3, for example, testimonial number 2. These are probably pages that were developed or where someone on your team or developer used it to build out a new page, but they never removed it or de-indexed that. That's going to be harmful to your live website, right? If Google sees services and then services too, and it's almost the exact same content, this is going to hurt your SEO. You're going to sit there wondering why Google isn't indexed in this page or why it's not getting any kind of like traffic. And it's just because you have all of these duplicate pages or just pages that just should not be live. One way to have to find all of your URLs is go to like simplescraper.com or .io, I should say, and you're able to like get all of your URLs that are visible on your website. At least if your website is scrollable. But as you see, I pulled up all of it, and then you can just go through all of these pages, and you will find these kind of weird URLs that should not be in existence anywhere on your website. Go ahead and just remove them, get them de-indexed, and just make them non-crawlable so that your website, doesn't suffer under that in the future. Now, another thing are the URLs that you have. So as you can see here, these are a couple of the URLs that I found where you have New Orleans, LA. So, and I believe these are going to be service pages. Let me just have a quick look. It's not the case. Maybe there are, I'm not sure. I'm not able to find them on the front end here in the, so those could maybe be your location pages. So if I look at your site right now, it's missing quite a bit of location pages, location page silos. If you have location pages, you're going to be telling Google and your customers exactly where you are servicing, what your service area is, what services you do in those areas, and it's going to help your Google My Business profile rank better. So you're missing your location or just city page silos. You're missing proper services silo because right now you have everything kind of cluttered into 3 pages, and then you also have mobile auto detailing here. So this is, I would not do this. This is, it's not, see here? It's not pressure washing. So like, I would definitely just recommend putting this on like a completely new website, different website away from this. Build these silos, these services silo out, the service area silos, build them out, add more project pages where you're showing projects that you've completed across the town, across the city, right? And make sure you complete all of the about us information. So tell me more about your company. And now if I'm looking at it, just being honest, I do see that you have some images here, but I really don't know if this is you or not, or what I should expect from your team, right? I don't see any smiling faces, anyone from the team. And I'm not saying you have to do that in order to get leads, but it's definitely going to help you rise to the top much quicker, and also be more trusted in the eyes of the visitor. So that's one thing. If I'm looking at the site right now, those are a couple of things that I would definitely fix if I were you. Another thing, right, there are a lot of things that I could go into, but another thing that I was looking at is just the content. The amount of content on the pages and just how it's structured is not sufficient. So for a page like this, I would definitely want to see maybe the review section repeated and some other sections where you're talking a bit more about your company, why customers should choose you versus a competitor, and then also what the process is. Let's say I would like for, let's see here, I would like to get this done, right? This pressure washing. I have a house and whatnot. What is the process? Do I call you? Do you come out to my property first? Give me a quote. What is the process, right? These are questions that are in the minds of your potential customers. So you want to answer that on the front end. So all in all, let me wrap this up. Overall, the site, I like the colors, the logos and whatnot. You have a decent start. You have quite a few elements on there, but there are a lot of things that are missing that's harming your Google My Business profile, and then also harming your ability to rank with your own website. And if you look at your Google My Business profile, like I said, it looks a bit dormant or very slow. You don't want that to happen. You want reviews to just keep trickling in, and that way you'll be able to, easily rise to the top, because as you can see, you have quite a bit of service area here. I wouldn't even necessarily quote. Yeah, so you're probably not going to rank in all of these areas here, right? This is a pretty large city, so wherever your Google My Business is located, that's where you're going to rank primarily. So you'd want to focus most of your efforts, at least at the start, around that center where your Google My Business is located, and then expand from there. Same with the website. So my process is always making sure the website is structured properly, and yeah, so website structured properly, having the proper silos of services for location, and then